What's up, YouTube? We have another match from our DN Rogue tournament. Round one again. We have Ryan piloting Geargia and Liam piloting Hat. Now, this is going to be a quick match. It lasted very long, so I've had to speed it up. I had some problems with the audio levels as well, so I couldn't get the original commentary and banter, which is unfortunate because it was a pretty hilarious duel, sitting on TeamSpeak together, discussing what was going on. But anyway, I'm just going to fire through this and show you what happened. Liam opens with a Mermello and a bottomless, and Ryan just passes. He opens very, very subpar here. As you can see, he sets three. He does a really, really good play here. He MSTs, chains torrential, so the handle missed timing, and he manages to hit bottoms as well. So that was absolutely, a phenomenal play. But unfortunately, it's not going to be to any avail because he doesn't really have any sort of a decent comeback. He's definitely lacking any sort of offensive pressure. All he's doing is setting and passing. Liam rips Soul Charge, gets back Mermelio and Ice Hand, and he goes for Lavalval Chain and gets stopped by Fiendish, but the ignition is going to chain to that, and Lavalval Chain stacks the Diania for next turn. Brian again passes, Diania comes down, and that gets swiftly breakthrough'd. So Lavalval Chain effect again, he's going to try repeat, same deal again, try and make another Diania play. Ryan sets more back row and passes. He knows that Mermelio is going to be coming down to pop one of those next turn, so he needs to make sure that he can hide whatever powerful card it is. And Liam hits the Mirror Force that he tried to hide with the other card as well, but it happens. So yeah, not forgetting that Ryan is playing Geargia. Unfortunately, you can only go so far playing a deck with no monsters. So I'm surprised he manages to last this long here, but it comes down to a real crawl. He did manage to hit Mirror Force for 3, but again, it's really not achieving much. He finally draws the armor, and Liam has a Raigeki, so it's 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 going pretty badly. He manages to get out the auger, but at this point it really is too little too late. He spent way too long trying to get his engine going, while Liam's just been doing things like stacking Dianias, popping back rows, setting up Mermello searches. It's way too much to come back from at this point. But Ryan fights it out. Let's see what he can do here. He's faced with an ice hand, fire hand, sorry. So he's just going to wing blast it, discarding the gearbox. A cool little engine thing that you got going there with your Geargia deck. You can add a gearbox, which lets you add auger. Add another machine off of auger, so you can keep. So you've got this chainable sort of not chainable, replaceable discard fodder. Couple of exchanges going back here. Mirror Force, Wing Blast again. Ryan getting really desperate, but eventually scoops it up. Not much he can do at this point. And going into game 2, their sides are pretty generic. There's a couple of, I think Liam's got the bunk or two, I think. I can't remember exactly. But it ain't exactly the most thrilling of game 1s. So apologies for that. The next 2 games are a lot better. Game 3 was pretty decent as well. So hopefully that'll get on the way momentarily. Now, Ryan opts to go second. Is an interesting choice in this format, whether you go first or second. I mean, generally you want to do what Liam's doing now. Go first, set all your purple cards and pass. Ryan does the same thing. He sets his armor, he passes. And this is dark hole number 2. First one being Raigeki on the armor. Bit of salt on Skype there, but it was quite funny to see that come down. But it's not a big deal because Ryan's got his machine auger dude to get some pluses going. It's a pretty good card, a decent plus too. Not so bad this format. In phase ignition, setting the bagel attack, hitting a breakthrough skill. Liam's going to draw for turn. Probably gonna end up, yeah, there it is. It's the fire hand. He summons it, and he just attacks in. Gets white blasted, discarding that gearbox. Second auger comes down, adding accelerator at this point, I believe. I think that's probably the best thing to do. He's got a lot of back row to fight through, and I think he does it quite well actually. Gets the auger, sorry, accelerator. Makes Gigan. Gigan is obviously gonna do the same thing, but it gets nightmared, and that gets promptly wiretapped. Ryan is citing 2 wiretaps of it. No, actually, he's maining 2 wiretaps. So that was quite an interesting one exchange there. So Gigan punches forward, and we see another end phase ignition on the Bego attack. He sets Scythe, and then Bego attack comes out. You could argue that he probably should have brought that Scythe out earlier, but it's not really a problem. I guess Fiendish Chained anyway, so he potted dualities for, I think it was Ice Hand? A hand of some sort. Yeah. You could argue that Sanctum would have been a good play there, but it's whatever. Cool. Over to Ryan, adding another accelerator. At this point, I think that both players know that the other one is playing Merforce, so I think he wants to go for Dweller here, but also remembering that, you know, that needs to be made into defense, which I think he goes for here, eventually, anyway, after adding like the other machine from Gigan. So he makes that Dweller. I think, yep, he makes it in defense, and then he's just gonna try and get rid of that, get rid of those hands. Fiendish Chain should have went at this point, but I don't think it was actually relevant. Liam draws, sets a couple more back rows. I think he uses Dweller on, no, Fiendish on, yeah, he uses Fiendish on the other Gigan. But Ryan has his 3rd auger for the game. The pluses are just way too real at this point for Liam to get back into it, and despite the fact that the deck does plus pretty well on its own. The overlays for Gigan 3, I think it's Gigan 3 at this point. No, he makes Arc to play around that Mirror Force. Puts one of the Gigants in defense, and Dweller into attack. That was... oh, the Gigant in defense is the one that's been Fiendish Chained, so he might as well put that in defense just to like block out any Mirror Forces, and he pushes in for some damage. And yeah, that was game right there. So moving into game 3. Yeah, it's a pretty good match. Game 1 was a bit bricky, but some good exchanges there, pretty back and forth. Geargia in the end coming out on top with the pretty good plussing of Augur. Card was really good when it came out. The only issue was it was well, a little too late, just because well, power creep of the Shaddolls last year was a little too much. Ryan opens the exact same as last time, and we see the exact same opening again. The 3rd Dark Hole on the armor. So every armor that Ryan's had has been Dark Hole or Raigeki'd, and that is most unfortunate. But he manages to topple another one. Pretty lucky there. But I guess it kind of makes up for this awful brick of game 1 and a little bit of sack from the Dark Holing constantly on the armors. So armor flipped up in the damage set there from the Ice Hand attack, got him as Augur. Armor flips up here again. Moral attack goes to pop his armor, but Ryan breakthroughs it, which I feel would have probably been better not doing. I don't know. I just feel like breakthrough on the moral attack popping armor was not really a big deal. I mean, he's got like 2 augurs in his hand. He can just like make a Gigant of some sort, attack over the moral attack. Ryan does a major misplay here anyway, just because, well, who really plays Geargia anymore? Who knows what these cards actually do? It's quite funny. Yeah, he mind controls Ice Hand, and then he takes it back really quickly, realizing that mind controlling Ice Hand isn't going to do anything for his progression of play, because Augur has the effect where, if you use the add effect, I believe, I think that's what it is. If you something, I don't know, if you use one of the effects or something like that, you can only summon machines, and not only that, you can only summon Earth machines, I believe, for the rest of the turn. So Ice Hand doesn't contribute to any XYZ in that way. But anyway, there was a bottomless thrown out into the Gigant there. Battle phase, attack with Moral and Ice Hand. Main phase to summon Myrmilio. I guess Liam just wanted to play around the Mirror Force there, have something up in main phase 2 if need be. I think something like that, I guess, yeah. I don't know. So Lavabo Chain gets summoned and it's bottomless, so no stacking of Diania. It was a really, really good combo. Lets you plus quite well, set up some extra XYZ plays, pretty cool. There was an end phase Wing Blast on the back row, but it's chained to a set solemn warning. So that warning there was for the hand, I can assume, which is why Ryan was playing in a sort of way that would not require, you would think that he would normally play around the hands, but he didn't have to because he's got warning as a safety net there. And then again, you always run the risk of running into wiretaps in this sort of format. Yeah, he just makes the standard Gigant sets, passes, blah blah blah. Liam gets back the hand, is promptly Fiendish chained. Gigant's gonna do his thing, do more searching. Adds back the accelerator. Now at this point Ryan is really, really, really far ahead. It's gonna be hard to see how Liam gets back from this, if at all. So the mind control comes down finally in a correct manner, and I think he makes Emerald at this point. I can't remember. Let's have a look. There's multiple options here. There's multiple different ways to win. There's multiple paths you can take. We're not sure what the set is, but he makes Dweller anyway, just in case of a ripped hand, which could probably get him back in the game. Pot of Dualities, not many good options there. Myrmilio with no targets, an MST that's dead. So the only option really is to take the Mirror Force and set it and pass, which gets end phase MST'd anyway. So again, Ryan is still playing around that Mirror Force. He doesn't want to get blown out. But in the end, it's not enough for Liam at this point, who's top decking. He does set a monster. Find out if it's a bluff. It's not. It actually was the Fire Hand. Dweller was chained before the attack, and then that got Fiendish chained, which got wiretapped. So thanks again for watching, guys, and I'll see you around for the next round.